We are picking back up in chapter 28 of Matthew in verse 11 now. While the women were on the way, so we talked about the women going and telling the disciples they're headed there. Well, while they're on the way to do that, some of the guards that had become like dead men because of the fear went into the city and reported to the chief priests everything that had happened. Now, these were assigned because remember they had gone to Pilate. Let's see. In verse 62, the chief priests and the Pharisees went to Pilate. So, chief priests go to Pilate. Pilate then assigned this guard to help guard the tomb. And we talked about how many that was, what that looked like. Well, because they're assigned to the chief priests, these men are going to go back to the chief priest to tell what's happened. And also, this is a big deal because this is something that they could be executed for having fallen asleep on the job. So that's the penalty of that. Besides, also, how would the stone not awaken them? And all the if the disciples were trying to get the body, they'd have to walk over everybody. The stone would have wakened them up. All of this noise, it would have been a loud clatter. They couldn't have secretly, quietly tried to get Jesus out of the tomb and the body without having known. But they still fabricate the story. And so we continue with verse 12. When the chief priests had met with the elders and devised a plan, they gave the soldiers a large sum of money, telling them, "You are hush money. You are to say, his disciples came during the night and stole him away while we were asleep. If this report gets to the governor, we will satisfy him and keep you out of trouble." So the chief priests are going to go to bat for these guards. They're going to keep the story in line and keep them safe from being executed. So the soldiers took the money and did as they were instructed. And this story has been widely circulated among the Jews to this very day. So again, there's this story that was being told so that way they would not people would not believe that Jesus truly was the Messiah, that he rose from the dead, because that's not, they did not want this to be known. They did not want him to be known as the Messiah. So they're keeping this all hush hush. Don't say anything about this. We'll give you money. We'll keep you safe. You won't be killed for this. We'll take care of this. It's a very dark political move that they were going to take, that they were going to do here to protect their motives, their agendas. Well, and we'll go ahead and we'll stop here. It's short, but we'll stop here, and then we'll pick up in verse 16 for tomorrow.